Hey, good afternoon. Y'all caught me in my office. So, got a couple things on my mind. Number one, the cattle market in general. And number two, I raise Highland cattle, so the Highland cattle market. And the reason I have this on my mind is, as you know, the cattle market has been doing fairly well. Actually, it's been doing really well. But beef prices in the grocery stores and supermarkets, they're high. They are high. I'll admit they are high. It has nothing to do with cattle rancher though. That's a topic for another subject for another day. But anyhow, our federal government has kicked around the idea of importing more beef from Argentina. Yeah, it took me a minute to remember that one. And you got your cattle groups that are saying that that's going to throw the cattle market in chaos. The federal government's hoping it brings prices at the grocery store down. Now, will this affect the cattle market? Oh, you bet it will. It already has. They haven't even done it yet. Will it affect the market for Highland cattle? It could. Probably not in the short term like it has the other market, but it could. So that's going to be my subject for today is the cattle market in general and the effect it's going to have on Highland cattle. So, to really understand what's going on, you have to understand that the U.S. cattle industry or the cattle supply, the amount of beef cattle on hand in the USA has shrunk to its lowest level since about 1951, 52, somewhere around there. A lot of this is caused by drought. A lot of people have sold off, especially in Texas, because of wildfires and drought. There's also the high cost, which is really astronomical, and just general economic uncertainty we've had the last, I'll say, few years. Some may even say there's been a war on the cattle industry. Not sure I can argue with that, but there's definitely been a war on grazing public lands. But that's coming back. They're opening up public lands for grazing again. So, man, that should help. The live cattle and the retail beef prices, they've been getting hit with record highs until now. I was watching our ag secretary just the other day, and live cattle market, I'm sure feeder cattle, and they've lost like $80 a hundred. That's a lot. If you want to do the math, let's say you're selling a 500-pound steer, that's $80 for every 100 pounds. That's a big drop in the last few days, or last month or so. And I watched that drop like the day after the announcement was made that Trump was thinking about. He didn't do it. He was thinking about importing more Argentine beef, and the futures dropped. 2 days straight, I know, probably more than that. I'm sure somebody can correct me on that. But look, high prices at the grocery store, everybody's for lowering prices. You got to understand, there's only 4 major slaughterhouses, processing plants, whatever you want to call them, in the U.S. Only 2 of them are U.S. companies. The other 2 are, I'm pretty sure, Brazilian companies. That's got to change. And our ag secretary agreed, and they're working on plans to do exactly that. Hopefully they'll get more USDA inspected mom and pop places around. We have one in my hometown. I was surprised to find that out. And I use them this year, but it's for my beef. But next year when I start my beef sales, I will definitely be using the inspection. Anyhow, the plan with Argentine beef is, I guess they're wanting to quadruple the amount that it's imported in, from 20 metric tons to 80 metric tons. That's a lot. I mean, it sounds like a lot, but in my research, I found that Argentina consumes most of the beef that they produce. So there's really not that much beef to be imported from Argentina. I, 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 I don't know. I don't think it's enough to make a dent in prices at the grocery store. I just don't see it. But it's making a huge dent in the prices at the sale barns and what the calf producers are getting. That's who it hurts. Does not hurt the beef processors. It hurts the ranchers. That's it. That's all it hurts. Now, will this have an effect on Highland cattle prices? Because Highland cattle are a beef breed. That is what they're for. So here's the rundown on that, the best I can tell you. Highland cattle is a specific niche breed. What I mean is they kind of have their own market. They aren't really controlled by so much sale barn prices and what we get. Say all these calves that are walking by right now. Most of them are heifers, but let's say they were all steers, and I took them to the market. I would not get as much for them today as what I was getting for them 2 months ago. However, being that they are Highland cattle, if I take them to a specific Highland sale, I will get way more than what I would get at just a normal auction. So, you know, there's not as many of them, which helps. One problem with them is while they're not really processed for beef by the big places, they're slow growing. It takes about 3 years to grow one out to be ready to be butchered and put in the freezer somewhere. And that's just not really something that you can market to a grocery store. Great for, farm to table producers. You want to sell your beef directly from the farm, which we will do here. They're great for that. So, do I think this is going to affect the Highland prices? Not in the near future. Watched the sale the other day after the cattle prices had dropped. We're still up there. We're still selling, on average about $4,000 per head. That's for a calf. That's for a 6-month-old to a year-old calf. So that's pretty good. Pretty good, I say. Anyhow, I feel sorry for the cow-calf operators out there. They didn't do anything wrong, but they're the ones that are paying the price for it. So, hey, help a breed out. Get you some Highland cattle. Make a little bit more money. It just takes a little bit longer to do it. Hey, if you like this video, and I didn't go in as deep as I had thought I was going to, it changes every day, so I don't see any need for it. I'll try to watch markets best I can. What are you complaining about? Your baby's right there. Oh, well, she doesn't care. So I'm got to say, I'm very proud that when I decided to get back in the cattle business, that these Highland cows are what I chose. Not quite as I guess what I'm trying to say is the price isn't really determined by the market, or the general market anyhow. It's determined by the Highland market, which is still pretty high. What happens when you have a specialty breed? It's a good business to be in. If you don't have any, you probably should. They still have a long ways to go to recover from when there just weren't very many. Not to mention, they're probably the most beautiful bovine you'll ever see. And they spoil real easy. All right. Isn't that right? Y'all are all spoiled. If you've never eaten one, find some place that sells them. There are a lot of places that will deliver them to your house. A little expensive. Well worth it. Well worth it. I keep up with the beef markets, even though it really doesn't affect me that much. Probably eventually will. But for now, our little specialty cow market is doing pretty good. So y'all, Christmas time delivery is being made. If y'all like this video, let me know. Hit the button, subscribe. We'll discuss whatever future disasters coming up next time, or we may just take a tour around the farm. Thanks for watching.